Alright, what's up guys? Mad Scientist 7890 here.
MVPScheer123r88.
And we got a little debate going on here between which one's better, Ring of Honor.
Dragon Gate USA.
And we've been going at this little battle here for a while now, and we're gonna drop some points on here, see who's better here, see which company is better, and we want your guys' opinion out there as well to give us some thoughts on who you think's better and who wins this little debate here. So here's what I'm gonna hit with the first point: why I think Ring of Honor is better than Dragon Gate USA. 1. Ring of Honor has a TV deal. What are you going to say about that?
Well, but you know, it doesn't matter if their quality of show isn't that good. I mean, Dragon Gate USA. You watch Dragon Gate USA show. I haven't seen one where I haven't seen a bad show yet. I haven't seen one where I wasn't at least satisfied a little bit. I haven't seen one under, say, a score of a 7. You know, Ring of Honor's had some crap shows in the last year. I mean, we all know Ring of Honor. They put on more shows. They can't hit a home run every time, and I don't really think their TV show is going to hit a home run.
Okay, but you have to look at the 3 shows that they have already taping this coming up weekend. Some top quality matches on there.
Bravado Brothers are in a match.
The Bravado's gimmick is almost better than almost every gimmick in Dragon Gate USA.
How good of wrestlers are Bravados?
How's their
gimmicks
work rate?
are good.
That's
their
one
gimmicks
thing.
Are good. Their gimmicks are good. That's fine.
That's one thing Ring of Honor. That's one thing Ring of Honor always gets a bad rap on is it's all about wrestling and the gimmicks aren't good. Bravado's gimmick is good. So here's my next point that I'm going to make about Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor's talent is primarily English-speaking talent, and they're able to get over their storylines and their gimmicks because they speak English, and you're in America.
Okay, and that's fine. But in Dragon Gate USA, you get Japanese talent that you don't see anywhere else. I can go to, say, St. Louis Anarchy show and see, you know, guys from Ring of Honor like Kyle O'Reilly there. I'm not going to see, you know, Shingo or Yamato in Chikara, in PWG, in any other promotion. This is the only promotion you're going to see them in.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're getting quality of talent that are, I think, better quality than Ring of Honor guys on just one show. You're not going to see them everywhere else. Ring of Honor guys go everywhere else they want, basically, except for Dragon Gate USA and Evolve, because there's a feud there.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is Japanese talent, it's not in America very much. Dragon Gate USA, it's special to see Japanese talent because you won't get to see them very much.
And you don't, and it's not like they don't put on a whole
Now I would
bunch of
agree
shows,
with that. Now here's my point, my argument to this. Delirious, doing some talking with Noah. Bringing over some guys, maybe Kenta Marufuji, maybe some other guys. Now, would that not be special to see those guys in Ring of Honor?
I'm not saying it wouldn't be special.
No. When was the last time?
Nothing set in stone yet.
I know, but when was the last time you can really honestly say the last time you had some really top-notch Japanese talent in Ring of Honor? Long time. So it'd be pretty special to see them.
2008, 2009, 2009.
Yeah,
when
it's been a while.
Nakajima came in.
Okay.
And the Omega Effect and Aries versus Richards. That was the last time, I think.
That sounds about
Unless
right.
you want to count the Joshi girls that came in for your WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, I guess you could count those. But when they bring in Japanese talent, they want to make it special. So basically what you're saying is if they have these Japanese guys all the time, it's not special seeing them.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Because they're there all the time.
Here's the thing. You can talk about your talent, your American talent, your Japanese talent coming in. Dragon USA doesn't really have any bad talent. I think the least talented guy in Dragon USA's roster is Eric Cannon. When in Ring of Honor, you know, I said Mike Ben's going to be the champion. I don't think Mike Ben's that talented. I just think he's going to be the champion. You know, Tommaso Ciampa's not that great. I don't think the Bravados are that great. Work rate rise. There's a lot of guys on Ring of Honor's roster. Steve Corino can't wrestle that well. Even Jimmy Jacobs is just okay. There's nobody on Dragon USA's roster I'm like, man, I really hate watching them perform. And there's a lot of guys like that on Ring of Honor's roster.
Okay, you know what, I would agree that. But here's what I'm going to counter with that. All of Dragon Gate USA's talent, main event talent, is Japanese. So you don't really have any American talent.
That's not true.
That's main eventers.
That's not true.
Okay, so they're trying.
If you follow their show, the last show, they basically made Johnny Gargano a main eventer. Gargano's basically a main eventer. Ronan as a whole is you know, on the same level as, say, All Night Express and Ring of Honor. And you could say them on an upper echelon, mid, you know. Here's the thing, both companies, you have to consider, both companies have basically 2 main events, their tag team and their singles division. It's not like WWE where it's like the main event and the mid-carders wrestle for the, you know, tag titles. You know, the Briscoes are a main event attraction. I mean, I'll give that to Ring of Honor. But I don't think they can hold a candle to Dragon USA's tag teams either.
Ooh, see, that was my next topic. I think Ring of Honor has the best tag team division in the world. I think next to Dragon Gate USA's tag team division makes your tag team division just look bad.
Okay, but see, here's
you got the Kings, the Briscoes, All Night, World's Greatest, Kyle O'Reilly, and Adam Cole.
And I'm a huge Adam Cole fan.
So, I mean, I mean, honestly, you can't hold a candle to the tag team.
Right, but here's the thing that Dragon Gate can do better than Ring of Honor, and they can actually know how to do it. It's called faction warfare. You know, where they may not have, you know, the tag teams of such, you know, that stay together all the time, that are just two guys, but they can throw two guys from a 4-guy faction in there all the time and produce great match after great tag team match.
Okay.
And six-man. Ring of Honor. When's the last time Ring of Honor's had a great 6-man match? Oh, Supercard of Honor 3. And guess who it was with?
Okay, but here's the thing with that. Here's my thing with Dragon Gate USA and just Dragon Gate in general. Their problem is to me with their storylines. To me, with their big problem is with storylines is they always fall back on faction warfare. They always fall back on faction warfare.
That's continuality of a story. That's adding. You know, it may be a cop out to some people, but it's still continuing the story. It makes each match have a story to it. Whether it has a really good story or a loosely knitted story, it still has a story to it.
Okay, but here's what I don't like. Every couple of years, you have changing of factions, and basically what you just do is you have, okay, these guys in these factions basically just switch around in different places, and then the same factions with different people, and then they're feuding. So it's basically like it's just one giant mix. Explain to me the storyline concept. Do you understand what the Japanese storylines are in Dragon Gate USA?
I get it. It's not that hard to follow. It may need, you know, yes, it would be nice if you had someone that could speak English, you know, putting over your storylines. You're not going to see Kevin Steen cut a great promo in here. You're not going to see a CM Punk type promo in here. But you don't really need that when the work rate and the athleticism and the story in the ring. The guys like Yamato and guys like Shingo can tell a great, fantastic story in the ring. I don't know how many guys on Ring of Honor's roster that can do that besides for maybe Edwards and Richards. That can really show emotion in the ring. Roderick Strong is a great fucking wrestler. How much emotion does he really show in his matches?
I can say right now.
His mannerisms is anything.
I can say right now, you skipped. Okay, you said Edwards and Richards. You skipped over the one person I think shows
Chris
most.
Hero.
No, not Chris Hero.
No?
The one person I think shows the most raw emotion in a feud. El Generico.
I'd have to say Adam Cole for you guys. I think Adam Cole's great.
Adam Cole is
Watch
so
Adam
low
Cole
on the
somewhere
card.
else.
Honestly,
Adam Cole. But where did Ring of Honor get half their new talent arena with Cole and O'Reilly? Oh yeah, Evolve. Who's Evolve is such a promotion for? Dragon Gate USA.
Okay,
so
but
really,
I did agree.
Ring of Honor's taking. Yeah, you agree on this one. On this one, you have to agree because you're the one that brought it up a long time ago, and now I've just started to agree with you. The younger talent in Dragon Gate USA beats Ring of Honor's younger talent hands down.
Okay, but that's true.
Gargano, Schwann, Taylor, AR Fox, Ricochet. And then that leaves another point. No high flyers in Ring of Honor. Name me one high flyer. We have AR Fox, you have Pac, you have Ricochet, you have Rich Swann. That's 4 of probably the top high flyers in the world. Ring of Honor? Are you going to tell me El Generico's a high flyer? And if you are, he's the only one that they have that I can think of doing high flying stuff. Are you really going to say Jay Lethal's a high flyer? No, neither of those guys are straight high flyers.
Okay. Yes. They do have a better younger crop of talent. But Ring of Honor has a better main event roster. Claudio and Hero, top-notch main eventers.
Shingo and Yamato.
Okay, so you're naming off Shingo and Yamato. I got Claudio and Hero. I got El Generico.
I got Tozawa, and you can't even hate on Tozawa, and you know that.
I got Eddie, and I got Davey.
I got Naruki Doi, and I got Masato Yoshino.
Okay, I would not consider. I think Dragon Gate USA
Masato Yoshino was their Dream Gate champion.
It doesn't matter. I think he's overrated. Now here's the thing.
I do too. I'm just saying.
I think Dragon Gate USA has 3 main event talents: Shingo, Naruki Doi, and Akira Tozawa. That's it.
You're undercutting people like Yamato, people like Yoshino, people like the new BB Hulk, who is now the dark version, who's coming in. You know, Tozawa. Well, you already named Tozawa, but you're See, you don't follow Dragon Gate USA enough to know who their talent was, who their main event talent was.
Okay.
We had Austin Aries for a while. I mean, they had.
And I liked Austin Aries. Now here's the deal. Now we're going to go on to the next thing with this. Ring of Honor, to me, has a bigger market and a better merchandising system.
Obviously they do because they've been around for 10 years. Look, they've been around for 10 years.
Okay, so
you can't argue necessarily what is the better one. Ring of Honor has longevity on them, no doubt. I'm sure Ring of Honor had the same exact problems Ring USA is having right now in their first few years of the company. Almost folded on a couple times. So, give Dragon USA its due. It's only been around for 2 years.
Okay.
It hasn't been around for that long.
But here's the thing. You have Gabe Sapolsky booking for you, who also booked for Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
He did the same thing that he's doing there, made it Ring of Honor what it is. and he's not doing that now? You don't think his merchandising in his system, like the way he's doing it now, is not working?
Where are you getting off with the merchandising thing? Have you
I'm talking
been
about
on their store to check their stuff? I mean, they have top-notch TVs.
No, I'm not talking just about merchandise. I'm talking
Here's
about...
the one problem with them. They put out their DVDs really slow. You know, they put out their DVDs really slow. Their iPad.
Now here's another problem.
They're still growing.
Oh, now here's a huge problem with me. They tape their pay-per-views and then they send them out 2 months later. So you already know what's happening, and you have to wait so long.
They don't need more. You obviously haven't checked them yourself. They do all iPay-per-views now.
Okay, now
the last taped pay-per-view happened last June. They're on all iPay-per-views now, which means you can watch it the day of the show. Ring of Honor doesn't do that right now. So basically, you can get all of their shows and Evolve shows live right now. You cannot do that with Ring of Honor.
You don't need to have them live.
You just said that it takes 2 months to get out your shows. You just made your own contradiction.
But what Ring of Honor does, that Dragon Gate USA does, they build up a whole feud and then they have a giant iPay-per-view. You have all these.
Now they have a TV deal.
Yeah, they have a TV deal, which is going to help them.
That's going to be 2 months. That's going to be a month or so behind.
Here's the deal. We're running out of time. Here's the one thing I want to. The main thing I want to counter with. Here's the one big problem I think that Dragon Gate USA is going to have in the future. Ring of Honor has a full-time booker, Delirious. Dragon Gate USA has a part-time booker who's also booking Evolve and Gabe Sapolsky. Now before you even talk, he can't put full effort into Dragon Gate USA booking if he's also booking Evolve.
Sure he can, because he doesn't do as many shows. The amount of shows that he does
wait. He'll take up ideas.
Combined is probably less than half the shows Ring of Honor is. That's another point. Dragon Gate USA right now is easier to follow. You know, with the economy being hard, with there being hard times, now people not having as much money as they used to. Ring of Honor's putting on, what, 40 shows a year? Dragon Gate USA is putting on, 15, and Evolve puts on 5. That's 20 shows for your $1. And you can follow them all live at WWNlive.com.
You can't follow them live.
You can't say he's a part-time booker when he doesn't have as many shows to book.
But here's the problem. Here's my problem. To me, I don't want to wait that long for all these things.
That is a big disadvantage.
And also, you have these Japanese talent that are going back overseas, so they're not going to be here for all the shows.
They bring in like 7 or 8 guys usually each time, and it's different guys. They bring in Mochizuki. They bring in Gamma. They bring in Dragon Kid. They bring in Genki Horiguchi, and that's good because you get a taste of different people in different markets.
Now, here's another thing I want to mention before we get done here. Ring of Honor has the most popular wrestlers on the indies. Agree? Would you
don't count Japanese? Yeah.
Okay, so American indies.
But Dragon Gate USA is, like I said in my, the top 5 guys I see, going to a next level. The only one I mentioned on there was Adam Cole. Once Ring of Honor runs out of these guys, who knows who they're going to have? They're probably going to bring in the Young Bucks again. That's another good tag team for them. But you're going to have Gargano, who I think is going to be huge. You're going to have Rich Swann, who I think is going to be huge. You're going to have Ricochet, who I think is going to be the best high flyer on the indies. You're going to have Pac, another guy that is just, a mainstay in Dragon Gate right now. And the thing is, you can say that, oh, why don't I just watch, Dragon Gate Japan? Why would I even watch Dragon Gate USA? Well, it's pretty well known that, Dragon Gate wrestlers, Japanese wrestlers that come over here, want to impress more in America because they feel they have something to prove here other than their own country. So you can see, you may think that, if you haven't checked out Dragon Gate USA, you may think, oh, it's just the B show of Dragon Gate. It's really not. They still put on fantastic matches over here. They still put on matches of your candidates in their show.
All right, so we're getting down the nitty-gritty here. Give me 30 seconds. Why should they watch Dragon Gate USA?
Because they don't put on a bad show. You're going to see the best of the Japanese talent facing off of the best of, let's say, tomorrow's stars, the best of the younger crop talent. You're going to see the high-flying athleticism. It's a definite alternative. It's what TNA wants to be to WWE. It's an alternative with Dragon Gate USA over Ring of Honor.
Okay, well, here's what I'm going to say. My 30 seconds for Ring of Honor. Here soon, once they get on television, it's going to be the best televised wrestling since the 90s. No doubt about it. I don't care what anybody says. The best wrestling since the 90s. And you know what? With Dragon Gate USA, yeah, they have a younger crop of talent, but right now, Ring of Honor's the now. 5 years from now, Dragon Gate USA could be the #1 indie in all of America. But right now, for the next 5 years, Ring of Honor still got them beat. That's all I got to say. This is it for our debate. Throw on some points, what you guys think, who you think's got it here.
He's been the mad scientist. I've been MVPScheer. You've been watching this channel. We've been debating.
So let us know what you guys think. And thanks, guys. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to me. Subscribe to everybody. Just do whatever you want. It's awesome.